Hey, good morning, everyone. How is everyone today? I can't even tell you what the date is. All my days seem to be running together. I am Kitrynmarie. I'm an artist. I'm a writer, speaker, a life and a business coach. I reside in St. Louis, Missouri, and I teach people, creative-minded women, how they can take their dreams, how they can take all those little inspirational things that they hold in their heart, in their mind, in their soul, and how they can make money with it, how they can go live on camera, how they can take their craft, their arts, take it to market, make a little bit of money, and inspire other people to do the same. You know, we often think back to the path that we're on and how we got started, and you know, we all have a story. And if you see me going back and forth, I'm live on Instagram and I'm recording for YouTube. So, but we all have a story, and how we define who we are is our story. How we got on this platform, how we got to be who we are, and why we do what we do. It's not necessarily we are our story because our lives change, but we are products of things that happen to us, and the story doesn't change, but your life changes. It's the things that you carry forward that make you become this better person than you were yesterday. It really, really comes down to the confidence that you are feeling about yourself and what you are able to bring to a relationship, or bring to a market, or bring somebody's attention up the level, up the game. And you're going to hear my dog in the background, Brucey. Lay down, Brucey. Lay down. You're okay. But it's about all the good things that you have within you that you want to share with somebody else. I have a line of t-shirts that I create. Let's see if you can see that one over there. Can you see that over there? Let's see if I can flip that around. I have just a small line, and what I did was I just created a couple sayings that meant something to me, and I branded who I am by my saying, by living in my examples and walking my talk and talking my walk. I have a line of jewelry that I create. I teach how to make jewelry. I teach floral classes. I teach painting classes. If you can see the painting behind me, I teach a variety of classes. I teach law of attraction. I teach people how they can manifest all the good things in their life and bring them to fruition. You know, how to create the synchronicities in this life so you can have doors open, so you can have abundance flow. I like my classes in person. You know, the online thing is all fine and good. Excuse me as I get myself situated here. I'm in a cramped kind of quarter. Don't want to knock anything over. I like having people in front of me because I think not everybody can be taught online. There is a booming online industry right now, but I like having real people, you know, and I'll say this word wrong, I always do. Algorithms should not be defined by who we are and the service or the craft that we offer. And I know I talk with my hands a lot. It's a haphazard of being Italian. Just don't get in my way when I'm on a soapbox. But we shouldn't be defined by the people that follow us or the people that like and share. And although we need these things in this time and day to make our social media audience grow, what about the people that are in your real time? What about the people that you are making a difference in their lives because you're able to teach them the old-fashioned way? God forbid the net go down. I say this all the time, and it could possibly happen at some point. If you have all your eggs in one basket being online, how are you going to continue to make, to make an impact? I also sell because I like it. I'm a coffee girl, so I partnered up with the Gourmet Cupboard. I sell Avon. I like being a brand rep for things that I believe in, things that I can talk to people about. You know, there's a variety of things that I do. in a variety of different ways, because I don't want all my eggs to be in one basket, and I don't want any of my students, any of my coaching groups to understand you have to pin yourself into a box. Our whole lives we have been told we need to be put into a box. And I think in this day and age, in 2019, we need to be able to bring our gifts and our talents and our voice and make people aware of all the good things that are out there, all the good services or products. And so it takes me back to why I wanted to get online this morning, why I wanted to do this video. I want to talk just a little bit about 2008, when our worlds turned upside down, when the economy just really hit bottom and people were losing their houses and they were losing their vehicles and they were losing their jobs, and the dynamic and the disaster of that structure and what it did to the family core. I can tell you in 2008, I was at the pinnacle point of my job, my career. I have always had my hand in food and beverage. I like having my hand in food and beverage. And for any of you parents out there who have kids that are just starting out into the workforce, let them go work food and beverage. They will never go hungry. They will always have $1 in their pocket, and they meet a variety of different people. And it's important to make those contacts. It teaches them social skills. So all my life, after my divorce, and my grown-up life, I'll say, because I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, always doing an art thing, trying to make a couple dollars. And I sold Avon way back in the day. It kept my kids in tennis shoes. It kept us in pizzas on Friday night. And 2008, when the world was turning upside down and I was losing my big job and not knowing what I was going to do, I had started to do a little bit of freelance, and I was doing some writing for a new group that our affiliate NBC news station was doing. And I was able to get in on the ground level, and I was able to get my feet wet into social media and the impact of social media, and I was able to moderate a group discussion on how to raise children and what we were needing to do as our times were changing and how money was changing. And I was able to do a few art classes, and I was able to actually be interviewed in my own home by one of our news anchors. And that's what started me on this journey. My job that I had, I ran a banquet facility for a pretty prominent person here in St. Louis. And when the corporation was changing hands and when the economy just kind of happened, I was the first one that was let go. And not knowing what I was going to do or how I was going to continue to make a living, I got back into painting and I got back into crafting. And, that time in my life when I was losing my house and I was losing my car, and honestly I felt like I was losing my mind, not knowing a direction I was going, but I had at least enough resilience inside me that I knew I had to do something. So here we were, 2008, 2009, and I started in and I was creating things. I started sewing again. I started doing some jewelry. I had an embroidery machine. I started teaching a few of my painting classes. I was doing, fairs and markets and craft shows. And it was a big crapshoot, not knowing where it was going to take me. But I was able to get my feet wet, and I was able to build a little bit of confidence and decide which direction I wanted to go. So by the time 2010 had come along, I was already into my art. I had already built a small little personal following, and I was able to go back and do some food and beverage, and was able to continue to have some kind of income coming in while I had all this other residual income that was coming in. And in my coaching groups, I tell women it's okay to still have a job. It's okay to still have that part-time job, but it is not okay to forget who you are and the dream that you have inside you. You know, my sister and I, we were very fortunate when we were growing up. You know, my grandfather was a musician and he played in a band. Our mother, before she passed away, she had a promising singing career, and she had worked at the news affiliate. And so we were used to having an audience, knowing what it was like to have an audience, you know, in front of us. So as I went in to food and beverage and started bartending for that easy dollar to come in, I was still able to have my audience, still able to entertain on a completely different level, where my sister, she had went in and started, you know, singing with a band for almost 3 decades, because we never ever lost sight of the confidence that we had within us and the dreams that we had, and we knew the things that we were wanting to achieve in our life. And just because you get involved with some guy, or you get involved with some, you know, you have kids, or you start another job, that still does not mean that you are not entitled to have your dream, and you are not entitled to branch out and go out on that limb and create things and talk to people and tell people about your aspirations and be an inspiration to somebody else. Probably I have gone a lot more live, have done a few more videos in this past year. The past year proved to be all kinds of challenges. It was a combination of 2008 and 2011, and getting out of food and beverage for a while, trying to see where my hand would be better served. I was able to continue with teaching my art classes and trying to build my online platform, and using Dabble St. Louis as a third party, and branching out through YouTube videos and going live on Facebook, and, you know, getting a little bit more familiar with Instagram, because we are a social media society. The pictures that we take and how to represent who you are and what your service is and what your product is and who you are because of your story. So from 2008, and here we are 2019, you know, I have a line of t-shirts, and I teach these art classes, and I mentor creative-minded women who want to do something more with their life. They're just not real sure how to go about it and what to do. It's not necessarily the product that you're selling. It's about the service that you're providing that's a little bit different than what the other person who is selling that product. You know, even with my coffee mugs, you know, I always like to throw a little bit of Jesus in there. I always say I'm not a real religious person, but I am very spiritual. I believe in our higher power. I believe that there is a higher power. I do believe in the angels. I do believe that the power of prayer, it does answer questions. You know, all the answers come in the silence if you can just silence your mind. So I don't quote scripture. I'm not in that position to quote scripture, but every once in a while you might hear me make reference to, because it's important to continue with a faith, to tell people how you believe. Your higher power has given you these gifts and these talents, so why are you not using them? Why are you not utilizing the time that you have, your downtime? We are busy. You know, we get up in the morning and typically we start running, our feet hit the ground, and we're going in different directions. Maybe stay off of social media a little bit. Maybe start a journal. Maybe start a blog. In your blog, have it be an extension of who you are and why you do the things that you do. Because people want to know who you are. That's how it builds credibility. And as you're on Instagram and you're taking those pictures and you're writing in, use the correct hashtags to get other people's attention. I will say on my Facebook, earlier last week, I had shared and I always say this word wrong, I shared a meme with my business, my KM Designs a Writer's Mind. And somehow or another, Ellen saw it. Now, whether it was the real Ellen, I don't know. But the heart sentiment was the same to me. And I thought, you know, you never know the power that social media can carry. You know, and if you are using the correct hashtags, you don't know who's going to see you, and you don't know who is going to open a door for you. I follow quite a few people, and we all pretty much say the same thing. Whoever you hang around with really influences your life. You do become the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with. And if you are the smartest in your crowd, who is there to inspire you? Who is there to challenge you and to make you, step up your game a little bit? You do lose friends along the way. People do not understand who you are or why you do the things you do. And if they cannot encourage you, if they cannot, applaud you when the time is right for, the accolades that you've achieved, they're not your people. The ones that betray you, the ones that stab in your back, the ones that, want to talk behind your back, those are people you need to lose anyway. And I can tell you over the last 10 years, the structure of my friends are not the same. I've purposely walked away from certain situations because you get tired of the negativity, and that negativity cannot follow with you the rest of your life. In order to be a successful person, you have to understand your gifts and talents are not going to be the same as somebody else. And nobody is paying your bills, nobody is helping you raise your kids, nobody is understanding what's in your heart, your soul, and your mind, and you have to be brave enough to do it on your own. I am fortunate. My sister and I are both very fortunate that we had that structure in our childhood where we were allowed to have the imagination. And here we are as adults, and we forget that, we still have that imagination. We still have that dream. We still have that goal of doing something with our lives and becoming something that can be of service to somebody else. If you would like to learn more about my coaching classes, go over to Kitryn-Marie.weebly.com. If you would like to learn more about my art classes that I'm teaching or any of my line that I have, go over to kmgraphicapparelandart.weebly.com. All inquiries are welcome. My life is an open book. I have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be embarrassed from. Life happens, and life changes extremely quick, and what you thought you wanted before, you have the opportunity and you have the right to change your mind. You have the right to try something, and if it doesn't work out, then you go on to something else. Nobody says you have to stay within a limit. That's the thing about being an entrepreneur or having that entrepreneurial spirit. You have all these ideas, and you must implement them to make your soul happy. Send me an email at kitrynmarie@gmail.com. Like and share, any of my videos. Leave a comment. Life changes really, really quick, and you want to be true to yourself. You want to be the best version of who you are, and you want to do a service to your higher power and all the talents that the higher power has given you. You don't know the seed that you are planting for somebody else. Your words mean something to somebody. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're saying, that you're true to your core. And with me, it is about faith. It is about family. It is about country. It is about being loyal. And it's about doing the best that I can do with the opportunities that are laid in front of me. I have a soul contract. I know my higher power before I was sent to this earth said, you're going to go through some stuff in this life, and it's not going to be real pretty, and it is going to break your heart, and you are going to get sick at one point in time. But you know what? I'm going to give you the power to bounce back. I'm going to give you the power to be stronger than what you were before. I'm going to rebuild your heart, and I'm going to rebuild your mind, and I'm going to give you the confidence to have a voice to do the things that you need to do for the rest of your life. And that's exactly what I'm doing. My pact with God is I want to live to be 116. And I want to take the best care of who I am by eating healthy, by not consuming too much of anything that is not bad for me, by exercising, because nobody wants to be a couch potato. You become interesting by the things that you learn, by the things that you can share with somebody else over a dinner table or through conversation. It's important to be true to the gift that you have given. So I am hoping that somewhere along the line, whoever sees any of my videos or watches any of my lives, that, get to know me, get to understand why I do the things I do. I'm not defined by the story or what has happened to me. I am defined by who I was made to be. And I am Kitrynmarie, and I am an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach, and I reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I would love to hear from any of you. Sign up for any of my coaching sessions, sign up for any of my art classes, and let me show you how you can live a more purpose-filled life, living out your dream outside of the box, because nobody should pigeonhole you and keep you locked into one way if not that is not who you were meant to be. So you take care, be happy, and be blessed. Life changes quick, so you need to decide what side of that coin you're on. And I'll see you real soon. Bye.